Hello, and thank you for tuning in. You are tuned into Esoteric Guidance. Thank you so much. We are going to keep going through, or continue through our book of auras at this time. And here is the book. What's My Aura? Again, is by Mystic Michaela. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I never am. This is the second book of hers that I am sharing. The first was Living by the Moon, which was a very good book. We went through all 12 zodiac signs and the significance of our sign when it is in its moon cycle. So if you would like to know what you should focus on, or what the significant things are when your zodiac sign, whatever your whatever your moon sign is, when that cycle is present esoterically, then feel free to visit that. That is a playlist as well, Living by the Moon. Okay? And again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. I have my tea. Just burned a little sage to cleanse the energy. I am in an extra happy, I say extra happy, I don't know. I'm feeling like I have some reserve of I don't know, happiness, extra loving. I don't know if I'm unconditional loving, but because that's the healing part of me that heals. Yeah, I'm just in a very good place. My left index finger continues to itch. Okay, it continues to. And this is the third day for the excessive itching on the left index finger. Okay, left index finger for mudras is associated with air. Okay, air. All right. So that could mean an air sign. That could mean something's in the air. That could mean, yeah. Okay. So again, thank you so much, subscribers, for tuning in. New listeners, thank you so much for being a part of the channel. And yeah, so let's go ahead and continue. It actually started raining this morning, which is highly unusual in Tucson, Arizona, in the summertime. But the gentleman that I'm renting from, he told me yesterday that the whole weather condition for this summer has been unusual. Again, I got here in August of last year, 8/4. Arrived here on the day that my brother Matthew, who's 13 months younger than me, not years, 13 months. Someone might be 13 years younger. That might be significant. 13 months younger than me, suddenly passed at the age of 45. 45 or 54 might be significant. Also, he was born in 76. That is a 13. So he's 13 months younger than me and born in 76. Okay, so that's 13. 26, 62 might be important. Okay, that breaks also down to an 8, as 13 breaks down to a 4. Okay, so let's continue. We're going to move on to our green aura. The first 3 auras that we covered we covered 4. Yes, red, blue, yellow, and purple. Okay, were the first. Yes, purple. I'm looking at this, and now I'm thinking we did not cover purple. Give me 1 second. I probably should have checked this before I pressed play. Okay, so I don't believe we covered purple, so I'm actually going to, yeah, okay, so let me do that, right? So purple auras There's a fine line between intuition and society's version of reality, and purple auras live on this line. Purple auras are artistic and creative. A lot of entertainers are purple auras, by the way. Their minds are constantly moving, brainstorming, and thinking of ways to facilitate growth for themselves. One of the words that I got this morning is ostentatious. Okay, and ostentatious means doing things just for the look, doing things just to attract, doing things auspiciously, right? Doing things just to get attention. Ostentatious. Okay? And that just brings to mind most entertainers. Okay? So most entertainers, that's why they get fake ass, fake titties, fake lips. That's why they get all of that stuff, to attract attention. Okay? I am not even remotely interested in my case, a woman. I'm single and celibate, but I would never be interested in a woman who has fake ass, fake titties, fake lips, fake face, fake cheeks, no matter where the cheeks are. I'd never, ever be interested in someone of that nature. Okay? Their minds are constantly moving, brainstorming, and thinking of ways to facilitate growth for themselves and the world around them. Because of this, their craving for change, purple auras need outlets to distract themselves from the daily routines of life. They are rebellious and free-spirited. They don't feel a need to be in charge, but they most certainly do not like being told what to do. Okay, so now I'm thinking that we did go through the purple aura. Okay, we can go through it again, no problem. Purple auras are naturally more intuitive than others, as they have faith that their emotions are proof enough of whether to trust a person or situation. Purple auras feel before they know and are often correct. So purple auras are connected to empaths. Therefore, or empathic abilities, they nurture a confident relationship with their natural instincts. Purple auras often attract attention and have what is referred to as the it factor. Yeah, we've definitely covered this. Which makes them stand out in a crowd. Again, entertainers. Purples learn to get used to this constant attention, mainly in the entertainment field. Have this color aura. Purple auras have a hard time sticking to one career in their lifetimes. And again, I remember covering this because I said, yes, since the military, have had difficulty. So when I first got out of the military, I've been in the same occupation for 13 years as an accountant or tax accountant. But prior to that, going back to school after the Great Recession of 08, 09, I was after the military, 8 years of military, 2 different MOSs, including telecommunications or satellite communications, and being a mechanic. So I worked on everything from a Humvee to 5-ton vehicles. Okay, so we have 5 tons, Humvees, deuce and a quarters, and then I was Hotel 8 qualified, which is a recovery specialist. So I was also certified with a 10-ton rigger to go out and recover military vehicles that were stranded out in the middle of nowhere, field, desert, wherever, however, right? So I was that individual for the company that I was attached to, Bravo Company 327 at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. So I was the company's recovery specialist. Me and my platoon sergeant were the ones who carried that designation or had that certification. And so it's interesting again that I think about that. He selected me. He said, at the time I was a private. When I got there, I was a PV2. I had gotten promoted out of basic training. My drill sergeants chose me to be promoted out from 400 and something cadets. I was the platoon leader for 6 of the last 8 weeks of basic training. And so leadership and all of that has always come to me naturally. I've either been in leadership or I've been a solo artist. I've worked for companies where I was the accounting manager, but I was the entire accounting department. There was no one else there to help me. I've been placed in those positions a lot in my life, okay? Just natural leadership positions, not because I seek them, but because people meet me and they see my work ethic. I don't take days off. I don't call in. I don't do those things. I'm early. I'm very early. I'm 30, 45 minutes early to work. I'm not 15 minutes early to work. I'm very early to work because I'm just like that. I'm just, I don't know, an overachiever in that way, over diligent, very diligent. I'm just built that way, okay? But when I got out of the military, I was a purchasing agent for a chemical distribution company. That didn't last very long because the gentleman who owns that company, the name of that company is Belchem, Belchem, okay? That company, he is prejudiced against the military, okay? He does not like the military. He thinks it's a waste of time to go into the military to defend freedom, to fight for the rights of this country and defend it against the enemy's foes, or against the country's foes. He thinks that's a waste of time, to the point of telling his sons that he would remove them from his will if they ever went into the military. So he was that much against the military. And yeah, so that was my first indication that not all Americans appreciate what the military does and the freedoms that it provides. That was extremely disappointing to me. And then from there, I went into car sales. I was in car sales for about 1.5 years, working 80+ hours a week for AutoNation, and also worked for Carl Black, a Carl Black dealership. All of this in Central Florida. And my last month, I sold 12 cars, and then they let me go. But they let me go because I was going through my sabbatical at that time, away from High's Divine White Light. And so me and Brandy, that was my girlfriend at the time, that's not a female, that's a drink. Me and Brandy were having a good time on our sabbatical, and I ended up getting a DUI. And so obviously you need a driver's license if you want to sell cars. So I ended up being let go from that job and ended up being hired on at, where did I go from there? Del Air, the air conditioning company, probably the largest southeastern air conditioning company in the U.S., Del Air. Started by Bob Della Russo, who was a very, very nice guy many years ago. When I was there, it was funny. He was in the process of building a 20,000 square foot house. 20,000 square foot house. What are you going to do with all of that? 20,000 square foot house. And that goes back to ostentatiousness. Like, why do celebrities get these houses and then they abandon them, you know? Yeah, they abandon them, and for whatever reason, okay? That's a waste of money to me. I don't have need for a 10, 15, 20,000 square foot house. That could be a hotel, you know. So anyway, so did that, and actually I worked for that company 2 separate times. Yeah, so little jobs here and there until I went back to school and studied accounting. And again, that's what I had been doing for the past 13 years. So very much relate to the whole career jumping thing, okay? They do have to watch out for self-destruction, as they can use it as a quick substitute for a life change, okay? And again, I was fighting something back then. I was very much unaware of whatever, outside of spell work being done or witchcraft being done against me by the sperm donor, Kevin. I was unaware of anything else coming against me, other people, and I come to find out that even back then there were, including the woman who supposedly birthed me. But Confirmation burp. I haven't drank anything today. I haven't even drank my tea. So the key traits of purple auras are creative, eccentric, and non-judgmental. I do know one particular individual whose favorite color is purple, and I wouldn't say she fits all of these, because in the job area, again, of course not, but in the job area, she's probably the most consistent person that I've known since I was a teenager. Okay, and she's my daughter's mother. She's Alexis's mother, and she's held jobs for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. Like, she holds jobs for very, very long periods of time. I also found out and this might be true for other purple auras, that she has a very difficult time with change, and that might be another part of her aura, but she has a very difficult time with change. She's lived in the same 5-mile radius for 40 years, literally 40 years. She never moved. Even when I went into the military and offered her to come to North Carolina to Fort Bragg with me when I was 20, she wouldn't do it, because she doesn't change. She doesn't, and that's the entire family. It's some spirit about the entire family. They don't change. They do not do well with change. Okay, so, but the other purple traits here, very, very much so. Okay, and we're gonna see when we get to the biggest concern, what I just mentioned about her is pointed out. Okay, so aligned job, freelance writer, performance entertainer, and artist. So she does voiceover work for commercials, all sorts of commercials. She does voiceover work. Okay, very, very gifted, talented in that area. She could sing. When we were teenagers, I used to ask her to sing to me or sing for me. She would never sing. She would never, and still hasn't. And I haven't talked to her in a few years now. Performed fitness activities, dancing, group fitness, compatible romantic partners, strong-minded partners who can challenge and inspire them. They work well with passionate red auras, but can find other purple auras difficult to have long-lasting relationships with. Their biggest concern is stagnancy, which is interesting, because again, that's why I said that a moment ago, because she has a very difficult time with change. Okay, so green auras. Green auras have a content, and solitary vibration. Even when surrounded by lots of people, greens seem to exist in their own reality, separate from everyone else. Guided by solid logic and an unearthly ability to separate emotion from any decision-making process, green auras are strategic thinkers. They can connect to their spiritual well-being through a passionate application of their knowledge to out-of-the-box, challenging projects. Green denotes an inherent ingenuity and mental capacity, but those qualities need to be constantly tapped into, or they will become stale, right, like any other ability. Therefore, many green auras are workaholics. Without a purpose, they can become robotic and completely detached from themselves and their spiritual and emotional relationships. Green auras are interested in making a difference, fixing what is broken, and creating innovative ways for world systems to run more efficiently. They have a global awareness and can objectively see the big picture of many situations, making them amazing visionaries. They're very earth-based, find comfort in scientific research, and are often strong advocates for conservation. I'm sorry, I was wanting to say conversation. Green auras are amazing at seeing things for what they are and are good at sometimes using logic to convince others of the way things should be for everyone. Key traits for the green aura: intelligent, solitary, systematic. Aligned jobs: architect, engineer, CFO, scientific pursuits, or media producer. Preferred fitness activities: hiking, running, golf. Hello. Compatible romantic partners: independent partners who can understand and support their vision. They work amazingly well with yellow and indigo auras. Biggest concern: waste. Okay, so I pick up on a little bit of this. I am definitely an advocate for justice, and I think about the world systems. There are many systems. I'm going to drink some of my tea. In the world systems, by the way, this is a lemon ginger vitality tea. It's made by, or gathered, I guess is what you do with tea. Gathered, collected, I don't know. Gathered by a company named Stash. That might be important. Stash. Okay? We have a stash somewhere that's coming to us, right? A stash of good news, a stash of money, spiritually, stash of wealth, what have you. So I can resonate with green auras in this way. I am definitely an advocate for change. I want to change the American language. I want to change us from seeing a race of people as black and white to seeing us as truly who we are, and that is a brown American and a Caucasian American. No one's black and no one's white. And again, we use the color spectrum. I am reading from a book that has white pages and black lettering. I am neither one of these colors, and neither are you. Okay? That is, again, a language thing, a worldly system, all right? Racial systemic or systemic racism. I'm saying things backwards today. I don't know why that is. That's very interesting. So something might be reversing, something might be what have you, okay? It's 81 degrees outside, and it's 8:12 on the timer, on the clock. Not on the video. On the video, it's 21:09 when I look down. But it's 8:12, okay? And 81 degrees, which is, at this time of day, highly unusual. Normally, it's about 90 degrees at this point in time in the day already. So on its way to being 108 or 10 or something, okay? So I do resonate with that. Obviously, I am a huge golf fan. Golf has become my go-to. I have really come to really enjoy the sport. I've said for many years, if I could be in financial position to where I could golf three to four times a week, I would be a happy person. Okay, happy being. Okay, and so yeah, I'm not a fan of running, although I will. Okay, I typically run when things are really stressful. That's when I typically run. Okay, and that's like the one, because I don't like to do it voluntarily, because I did it for 8 years. I've run thousands of miles over that 8 years. You know, I ran 8, 6, 7, 8 miles a day, sometimes 12 miles a day. You know, 12 miles in a day while I was in the military. And so I'm not a big runner today. For some people, it might be the opposite. You might be a big runner because you were in the military and you ran a lot. Not a big hiker. And CFO, definitely architect, CFO, those things could speak to me. A scientist, maybe a psychologist or a psychiatrist or something of some sort. And so let's move on to indigo. Indigo auras are capable of viewing and experiencing everyone's point of view so clearly that it makes them feel like they're responsible for the happiness of those around them. Indigo auras, also that's the aura of your third eye. Indigo auras can energetically feel the inner traumas that others hide. Again, empathic abilities. Forget about and build walls around. Did I skip something? Oh, indigos can energetically feel inner traumas that others hide, forget about, and build walls around. Okay. They fixate on these wounds in others and will change their own behavior to accommodate them and in some way attempts to heal them. The energy required to do this is intensely overwhelming, I can imagine. Therefore, indigo auras must check in with who they are, not just who they are tapping into. They often need long periods of time alone to redraw and fortify their energetic boundaries. I definitely have to do that. Whenever I go to a party or whenever I go to a social event, I find myself needing to do this afterwards. I find myself needing to just, just kind of and release all of whatever I've been absorbing while I was there. Again, I'm highly empathic, as many of you are. I have to, and most people do not recognize that, so they do not know why their aura changes when they get around someone, because they're sucking you dry, okay, with whatever is going on in their life. When an indigo aura pushes themselves to be the frequencies of others too often, they can suffer physically, mentally, and spiritually. The journey for the indigo aura is about taking the time to see and validate their feelings in this lifetime. Indigo auras are gifted with analyzing behavior and creating a way for others to tap into what they have picked up on. I use this skill in my motivating and encouraging others, okay, to see beyond where they are and to see the optimistic side, okay. I am very good, it's not bragging, I am very good at seeing both sides, but I am very optimistic in my thoughts, okay. That's what's allowed me to continue on. That's what allows me to continue to move on as a lone wolf. That's what allows me to continue on even though I have no physical support around me, you know what I mean, or emotional support or spiritual support, okay. That's what allows me to do that, is my optimism, my faith, my hope in myself and in what I'm doing, because I know myself, I know how true I am, and that gives confidence. That helps your solar plexus. When you're not lying, when you're not acting in deceitful ways, you can live free, okay, free of judgment. I don't care what anybody says about me, because I know where I stand, I know where my heart is, my hands are clean, and my heart is pure. That gives you confidence, okay? Because they can see all sides of a situation, their gift is perspective. See that? Dusting off the expectations of others and really getting to know oneself is a lifetime challenge for the indigo aura, making it essential to block out negative people and situations so as to not absorb that energy. Okay? So key traits of the indigo are introverted. Yep, that's me. Compassionate. Yep, that's me. And highly sensitive. Yep. Aligned jobs, specialty therapist. See, there you go. Psychiatrist. I was going to say psychotherapist. I don't know. Nonprofit coordinator. I've been the treasurer of nonprofits in the past. And hospice nurse. So I know a hospice nurse. In fact, those of you who have listened to any of the last collective readings, I had a dream about a hospice nurse who, I went to this restaurant and I'm looking out the window and there was a line of cars coming and going. It was a busy restaurant. I look out the window in this dream of this restaurant and there is a woman there's a vehicle that's has Chicago Bear stickers all over it. And I know this family. They used to live in Lisle, Illinois. They don't anymore. They live in Hickory, North Carolina, I found out. I haven't been in contact with them in some time. I had to look them up and find out. But the wife of this family, again, whose middle name is Marie. Again, Mary, Marie, it follows me. In fact, I call her the husband's name is Ed. That might be important also, Ed. They have a son whose name is E.J. That might be important, or J-E-E-J, right? And David. Okay, I have a brother named David, okay? But her name is Gina. Gina Marie. I'm not going to say her last name, but her name is Gina Marie. Okay, and I never called her Gina. I always call her Gina Marie. And so anyway, I see this car, and they're huge. The family's huge sports fans. Hockey, they're like massive Chicago Blackhawks fans and all that. I don't even know the rules of hockey, or all of the positions. I only know the forward position and the goalie position in hockey. Those are the only two positions I know. But I was looking out this window in this dream, and I see this car covered in Chicago Bears sticker, and suddenly I look up and she's standing there. Okay, so I don't know what that signifies. Someone coming back from the past, someone who we haven't been in touch with in a while. I don't know what that means. However, she is a hospice nurse. Okay, and in fact, she took I think she had been recently promoted before they relocated. And I think the last time I spoke with them, she had just received that promotion, I believe. And again, Lisle, Illinois, right? And they also went to Naperville North, where I went to high school my first 2 years, right? And so, yeah, very, very, yeah. So she's a hospice nurse, okay? And animal rescue, okay? I have, the only time I've ever purchased an animal, a dog, from a breeder was the Cane Corso, Sadie, okay? All the other, so I've had boxers. I had Layla, I had Max, and those were 2 boxers, and Brutus, which is an American bulldog. All of these were rescues, okay? And so I am definitely a huge rescue person. I would go to Habitat for Humanity. Excuse me. I would go there just to look at the dogs. Okay, when I was in Florida. I don't have transportation here, but I would go there, and I would just to spend time with them. I would do that probably every other Saturday or a couple times a month. I would go just to spend time with the dogs. Okay? Huge animal lover. Huge animal lover. Okay? So, preferred fitness activities. Solitary exercise. Again, I mentioned this the other day. I tend to work out alone. Nature walk. Yep, that's me. Or swimming. Yeah. Compatible romantic partners. Strong personalities who are independent, and nature. They get along well with green auras, but can find other empath aura relationships, such as with blue and indigo auras, difficult to navigate. Biggest concern is miscommunication for indigo auras. Okay, so pink auras, where we have with time 3313. Pink auras are optimistic about everything. So here we go. Again, you'll find that you are a little bit of all of these. Okay, again, that's why you have all 12 zodiac signs. It's just the ones that you dominate or you function in the most often. Okay, we all have masculine and feminine energies. Determining whether or not you are a strong masculine energy or a strong feminine energy has nothing to do with your testicles or ovaries. That has nothing to do with that. That has everything to do with the energy in which you function. There are plenty of women who function in a masculine energy, okay, all the time. Okay, those are, yeah, masculine females. I think where the confusion comes in with sexuality is when they don't realize that these energies are spiritual, and they bring them into the natural. Okay, so often I made a comment the other day about Candace Parker online and Kobe and Vanessa Bryant's daughter. I don't know if it was Capri. I don't know if it was Capri or not. But there was a picture on Instagram about her teaching their daughter how to play basketball, and I said, hopefully she's not teaching her about clit-to-clit relationships. And somebody told me that I'm worried about the wrong thing. That dumbass, whoever said that, they're not concerned about the right thing. Okay, I would never have someone teach my daughter basketball or anything else associated with my daughter if they have a clit-to-clit relationship. I would never do that. No more than I would allow my son to be taught by someone who has a dick-to-dick relationship. I would never do that. Ever. 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 I wouldn't teach my children to hate those individuals, but I would teach my children that individuals who function in that, they are functioning in wrong energy. I would teach them about Sodom and Gomorrah. I would teach them about the Nephilim and how they came here, and the fallen Anunnaki, to teach sexual promiscuity to the humans, to the beings on this planet. I would teach my children. I will teach my children that. Okay? Someone's not agreeing with that. Well, I don't care. That's you. You raise your spiritual seed the way you want to raise yours, and I'll raise mine the way I want to raise mine. Okay? So the energy color, I think I'm extremely stable and extremely universally loving. Okay? I'm not racist against anyone. Again, I've been many races. Okay? I don't hate even the individual who is the homosexual. However, I will never, ever, ever in any way, even in a minuscule way, support their deeds. Lesbian or homosexual. Okay? There's gay means happy. The energy color itself has been ingrained into the collective consciousness with idioms such as rosy personality, or someone who looks at life through rose-colored glasses. They tend to be positive and kind, people who are idealistic, even in a situation that is well past redeemable to the rest of the world. Yeah, I've been there. That's an issue, by the way. I had to learn, okay? I had to learn to walk away from what is dead. Stop trying to bring the horse back to life. Recognize when it's time to bury it, okay? Recognize when it's time to bury it. Because of this, pink auras are often ridiculed in society as being silly, over the top, unrealistic, naive, and having their head in the clouds. They are seen as fools by those who are cynical of their authenticity. Pink auras are compassionate, very family-oriented, and hopeless romantics. I am definitely a hopeless romantic. I buy her flowers, buy her breakfast, surprise her with lunch. I am absolutely that. I am absolutely that person. I am absolutely that. I love doing stuff for that. I love just having flowers show up at the office for her. I love that. That speaks to me loudly. I love showering her with all of the love that I have to give in whatever form that might be. I love that, okay? They truly believe in the unequivocal good of others and in humanity. Again, I had to learn this. This was a very difficult lesson, and one of the biggest lessons that I've had to learn. And that is, not everyone is out for your good, okay? And for those of you who are pink auras and operate in this largely optimistic way, you will know or see, if you don't already, that everyone is not for your good, okay? There literally are human beings on this planet that have been taken over by evil spirits, evil, demonic, Jezebel, Luciferian, Apophis, Satan, Lutz, what have you spirits, okay? And we must protect ourselves against these individuals. For 46 years and 9 months, I did not protect myself against these individuals. And these were largely the individuals who were surrounding me. Okay, that's why I walk alone today. Okay, so with that, I had to learn a huge lesson. And that lesson primarily came through a spiritual awakening and a dark night of the soul after someone that I was involved with, I met, who really opened my eyes to see how they were not for my good, and how mischievous and deceitful shapeshifters can be. Okay? And so that was devastating to me. And yet at the same time, again, I was able to alchemize that into a lesson that I will forever, ever, ever know, learn from, and I will never forget. I could come back here 50 more lifetimes. Thank goodness I won't. This is the last. I could come back 50 more lifetimes to this planet, and I would never, ever forget that lesson. Okay? And forevermore will my circle be small. Forevermore will my circle be of few and not of many. Forevermore. Okay? It was 40-40 on the clock. All right? And so again, that's advice for you. Okay? Be aware that although you are hugely optimistic, again, for me, the glass is always not just half full, but it is being filled even as it is half full. Okay? That's where my optimistic nature is, or perspective is. But I've also come to realize that not everyone is for my good. Not everyone has your best intentions in heart. No, not everyone has good intentions about you, for you. Okay? Be aware of that, everyone. Okay. A pink aura's motivation is to see the beauty of the world consistently encompassing them. Through pink auras, though pink auras are prone to being misunderstood, they're loyal friends, hello, and they choose consistently to believe that beyond the harsh reality, there is good and beauty around us, and that by being the eternal optimist, they keep the light burning for everyone else. And yes, I definitely believe that. Okay? Key traits are romantic, innocent, childlike. Right? So my childlike energy takes me into dancing. Okay? My childlike energy, physically and spiritually. My childlike energy helps me connect with children very well. This is why children are drawn to me. Children come to me. I do not go to children. Again, I've given many examples of how children just walk up to me. Okay, when I was a part of a religious church, a religious organization, several of those children, they would just walk up to me during the praise and worship part of service, stand next to me, hold my hand. They were just drawn to me. Okay, and that is part of that pink aura. Okay. Aligned jobs are performance, influencer, social media marketing. Preferred fitness activities are integrated activities into playful ventures. Okay. Compatible romantic partners, personalities who understand and protect their idealistic views. They work great with yellow and purple auras. Okay. Biggest concern is negativity. Yeah. All right. So we'll do turquoise, and then we will end it for today. All right. So turquoise, like pools of water, turquoise auras are naturally gifted reflectors, able to hold an image of anyone they spend time with and reflect back what they see in their own mimicked mannerisms or patterns. This allows them to show the people around them whatever it is they need to see in order to heal or fix an issue. Because of this amazing gift, turquoise auras are often incredibly confused about what direction they should be taking in life and what interests actually belong to them. Excuse me. They can feel ignored by others, totally unseen for the people they so closely study and assist. Identity can be a journey for the turquoise aura. To find themselves, they must travel inward rather than along any path deemed traditional by social standards. Again, breaking societal norms is at the top of my list. whatever those societal norms happen to be in whatever society I'm in. Okay. Turquoise auras, remarkably, oh, you know something? I just said that and it reminded me of Malcolm X. I don't know why. My throat chakra kind of reminds me of Malcolm X. Okay? Although my perspective is not us against them, it is of oneness and trying to help the entire earth world to see that this oneness exists. Again, that's why racism is dumb. Okay? And see this oneness of us all and how we've all been, again, other races in other lifetimes, and how societal things have been put in place both between Genesis and Revelation as well. Okay, that's a manipulated book. Okay, not manipulating book. Any book can be manipulating or encouraging or helpful. But with Malcolm X, I too have been, in fact, I had another dream last night. This is, oh my goodness. I had another dream last night involving Steve Parker, who was the senior minister at the Rock of Central Florida. It's 8:36. And Kim Parker and their eldest daughter, Kaylee. And this is the second dream in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks or something. So Steve was in the dream, to sum it up, he was upset or mad at me. Again, he, just like Muhammad did to Malcolm, he lied and then ultimately ended up being a hypocrite, okay? Because he was running around fucking all these women, right? But then, yeah, he was just a hypocrite, okay? And these women were having all these kids when Malcolm was holding him in such high esteem. And so it's interesting that I too, the gentleman that I held in such high regard for, I couldn't say I would take a bullet for him, but I would say that I was a centurion in that house. Okay? That's who I was in that house. Someone else mentioned this to me some years ago. I was a something bearer, not pallbearer. It was something else. I might be a pallbearer for some people there, but I was one of the centurions placed to stand at the front of that place as protection for him in that house. Okay. Anyway, and so, but he denounced me. He did away with me. Okay, and still today I have not heard from him. Okay, after telling him about the witchcraft and that was being done against me by the individual that I was engaged to at that time, or one time, who was a part of that house. Okay. He did not believe me. And again, that dream last night or this morning, whenever I had it, he was yelling at me about something dealing with their daughter, Kaylee. Again, what that was specifically, I don't know, but I remember their daughter, and her name is spelled Kaleigh, okay? Her middle name is Lynn, by the way, right? And that's Lynn. She had on multiple shirts, and at one point in time, she was talking to the three of us, me, him, and his wife, Kimberly, and he accused me of trying to look down her shirt, like just ridiculous stuff. And again, she had on multiple shirts. right, that were up to her neck. I couldn't see how is it she was showing us something that was written on her shirt. I'm trying to read the shirt, and he's accusing me of trying to look like it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And I'm thinking to myself, what is that? Like, and so that just goes to show you the enemy tries to use anything, even to the ridiculous, even to the extreme. The enemy uses things against you. They use my optimism against me. The enemy does. They use my faith against me. Your hope. The enemy uses your prosperity against you. Anything the enemy will try to use against you. Okay? Anything. Very, just bizarre. I would never try to look. Why would I try to look down her? Anyway. But anyway, again, getting back to the Malcolm X thing. And so, as Malcolm X, again, was denounced or whatever, I think I'm using that word correctly, by the Nation of Islam, I was denounced by the Rock of Central Florida. I left that house. I was sent there as a healer. They were told on 3 separate occasions when I got there in 2003, by the way, a 3, okay, that Steve was born on the 26th, 11/26, that's 13/13, okay, and that I was sent there, highest divine light, searched the earth to join me to that house. He was told that by another minister, an apostle who came to that house, and by others, by 3 separate individuals, okay, still kicked me out, or didn't kick me out, still, I don't know, whatever the word is, right? Many turquoise orals find their life purpose healing in the spiritual realms. Of all the aura colors, they have the fewest number of boundaries towards others, emotions, and realities. I don't know if that's wise, okay? So for turquoise energies, we have key traits are old soul. I am an old soul. I've been told that since I was a child. Adults would tell me that as a kid. You're an old soul. Even as an adult. Spiritual and reflective. Aligned jobs are energy healer. Hello. Doula, which is also a type of healer. Acupuncturist and aromatherapist. Okay, I got my Reiki healing certification just again so that the earthly human, so that I would have something to say that yes, I have gone through a process, earthly process of knowing what to do here. Okay. So preferred exercises, meditation, stretching, and water aerobics. Meditation is tremendous for me. Okay. Compatible romantic partners. Open-minded, compassionate partners. They work well with green, blue, and pink auras. Biggest concern is being ignored. Okay, I have no problem with being ignored. That's okay, right? So again, thank you so much as always for tuning in. It was 53:33 on the timer. It's 8:44 on the actual clock. Okay, and 82 degrees. Okay, so thank you so much as always for tuning in to Esoteric Guidance. My name is Nehru, here to help us all become our highest, purest, truest version of ourselves possible. I hope you're getting something out of this. Let me know in the comment section if you're hearing things that resonate with your aura or your experience this lifetime, and yeah, what you're being drawn to, who you are being called to pull away from. Okay, because we are called to pull away from certain energies, because again, not everyone has your best intentions at heart. That was such a hard lesson for me to grasp, being an unconditionally loving person, an easily forgiving person. That was a very, very difficult thing for me to grasp. So, and to admit to myself. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, be encouraged.